Dear reader, whomever you may be, what you are about to read, it's all the information that we could put together about our friend W last few months, after he left the city last spring. The following are mostly old phone messages that he sent to us. We want to share with you, as I'm sure you'll benefit from it. W's spirit and personality are truly amazing. We know he would like to let the world know about his fate. For if somehow anyone is going through a similar struggle, he or she can take comfort in his story and maybe let him be a good friend to you if you can't find someone closer. May 4th, 2022. How are you, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Just wanted to share some updates with you. These last days have been so crazy. I didn't have time to say a proper goodbye, and I am sorry, but I'm so happy that I'm gone. Can you believe it? I left my flat, my city, and you, my best friend, and yet I feel happy. But I know you'll forgive me. You know better than anyone how much I needed to leave. Who would have said? Me, leaving Manhattan and going to that family range in Montana. No, it wasn't for me, and yet here I am. Don't you think our hearts are strange sometimes? For sure they make us do things we don't expect. And as you know, I had other things on my mind too. Remember Leonora? I'm not sure if I was completely to blame for what happened between us. I did enjoy her company, and yes, maybe I did encourage her feelings for me. Like always, I keep blaming myself. You know me. But that's just how we humans are, always finding ways to accuse ourselves. Anyway, I promise I'll be better from now on. I'll try not to dwell on every little problem that comes my way and just enjoy life as it is. You were right, if we stopped looking back at past sorrows, there would be less suffering in the world. One thing I've realized through this whole experience is that misunderstandings and neglect cause more harm in the world than malice and wickedness. At least those two things happen less often. Oh, and please let my mother know I'll take care of her business and keep her updated. Anyway, the peace and quiet here is like a soothing balm for my mind, and the spring weather is just making me smile. Everywhere you look, the trees and bushes are covered in flowers. I feel like I could turn into a butterfly and just float around in this sea of fragrance all day. The town itself ain't great, but the nature around it is seriously beautiful. My uncle was so inspired that he created a garden on one of the rolling hills. The garden is simple, and it's clear that the guy who made it was just trying to enjoy his own sensitive heart. The people working in the property have grown attached to me, and that's a good thing, as I'll be soon running the place. Anyway, let's speak soon. 12 of May 2022. Just wanted to share a moment with you. The sun is shining down on the top of my trees, and only a few rays are making it through. I'm lying down in the tall grass by a stream, and all these plants and insects around me have me feeling a sense of wonder and awe. I'm filled with this universal love, and it's like heaven and earth are dwelling in my soul. I wish I could capture all these feelings and put them on paper. But it's too much for me to handle. I'm overwhelmed by the beauty of it all. The serenity that has taken over me is like nothing I've ever experienced. The sweet mornings of spring are filling my soul with joy, and I am in awe of the beauty around me. I am so content in this moment that I'm neglecting my paintings, but at the same time, I feel like I've never been a better artist. Do I make sense to you? Hey, just saw your message about sending me books and my video games. Please, I beg of you, don't. I've got enough on my plate already. I don't need any more stimulation or excitement. My heart is already overflowing with emotions. I just need something to calm me down. I try my best to calm myself, but my head is so unstable and unpredictable. (15 of May 2022). Hey! Morning! The people in this town already know me and love me, especially the kids. When I first started talking to them and asking about their lives, some thought I was some rich kid from New York trying to make fun of them, and they didn't like it. But I didn't let it get to me. I've noticed that people who think they're better than others don't like to associate with regular people, and those who are lazy and like to make jokes often act like they're better than regular folks just because they're family money. The other day I went to the town shop and saw a young girl with a huge basket. She was trying to carry it, and I thought she was looking around for help. I ran over and offered to help her. She blushed and thanked me, and I helped her carry the basket to her mom's car. No big deal, but it feels so good. 17 of May, 2022. I've met a lot of people, but I haven't found any real connections. I don't know why so many people like me and cling to me. If you ask what the people here are like, I have to say the same as everywhere. People are all the same and just spend most of their time working for survival. They're so restless with their limited free time that they try to get rid of it. But the people here are good. If I let loose and enjoy innocent pleasures with genuine freedom and sincerity, like around a well-covered table or a dance, it puts me in a good mood. But then I remember all the other qualities I have that I can't use or express. I fell being misunderstood. I guess it is the fate of people like us. This sounds so bad, but remains true. The 22nd of May, 2022. I met a great guy, the district judge. I think he is open-hearted and sincere. Heard he's a wonderful dad to his 5 kids, with his eldest daughter being the most talked about. He invited me to visit him at the hunting lodge, which is close to my property. He chose to live there after losing his wife, as he can't bear to stay in the city. I found this amazing place called Walheim, about a couple miles from the town. It's a cozy little spot on the side of a hill and offers a beautiful view of the valley. There's a small inn run by an old woman who's always cheerful and pleasant. The best part is the 2 linden trees that spread their branches over the little green in front of the church. It's so peaceful and serene. I love spending my afternoons there, sipping coffee, reading books, and just soaking in the tranquility. I stumbled upon this place one fine afternoon, and it was entirely deserted except for a little boy who was sitting on the ground with a baby in his lap. It's definitely one of the most charming and idyllic places I've come across. If you're ever in Montana, do check it out. 17 of July, 2022. Why haven't I written to you? How can you ask such a question? You should know by now that I'm doing well. Basically, I've met someone who has stolen my heart. I can't really explain it, but that's the situation. I'm happy, but not the best at telling stories. People always describe their partners as angels, but trust me, she's even more special. I can't even begin to explain why she's so perfect, but she's just captured all of my senses. She's got this amazing combination of being simple and understanding, mild but also determined. She's got a peaceful mind and a busy life. Okay, so all the flowery language I was using before is just nonsense. I need to tell you about this person right now, not some other time. To be honest, I've been super tempted to go see her like 3 times already. I promised myself I wouldn't contact her today, but I keep checking the phone. I just couldn't resist. I did go. I just got back and I'm grabbing a bite to eat, but I'll write to you more about her now. Seeing her surrounded by her 4 beautiful brothers was just pure joy for me. But if I keep going on like this, you won't understand anything. So let me focus and give you the details. So the other day, I told you about the District Judge S., who invited me to come visit him in his place. It's more like a little kingdom, really. But I didn't end up going until I got invited to a big barbecue that he was organizing. I offered to drive this pretty but average girl from the neighborhood and her aunt to the party. She told me I would meet a really charming girl. Charlotte is the eldest daughter of the judge. On the ride to the judge's place, the aunt warned me not to fall for her because she's already engaged to some big shots kid that is studying in England. I didn't pay much attention at the time. When we got to the gate, the sun was setting behind the mountaintops and the air was heavy. The ladies were freaked out about a storm coming because there were a bunch of dark, I stepped off the car and a nicely dressed Asian maid working in the house came to the door, asking us to wait for a sec while she told her boss. I walked over to a really nice house and went up the steps to the front door. When I walked in, I saw the most amazing sight ever. 4 kids from ages 13 to 5 were running around and surrounding a girl in her 20s. She was of average height with a stunning figure. She was wearing a white dress with pink ribbons and was cutting slices of homemade cake for the kids based on their age. She did it also in a gracefully and loving way, with each kid waiting with open arms and shouting their thanks. Some of the kids ran off to eat, while others, more gentle, came to check out the strangers. Sorry for making you come and for keeping the ladies waiting. I was getting dressed and doing some household stuff before I left, and I forgot about the kids' dessert. I said something polite, but I was completely taken by her looks, voice, and manner. She went to her room to get a hat, and the kids gave me curious looks from a distance. I went over to the youngest one, a super cute little guy, but he stepped back. Charlotte came in just then and said, "Louis, shake hands with your cousin." The little guy did as he was told, and I couldn't resist giving him a big kiss, even though his face was a bit dirty. "Cousin," I said to Charlotte as I helped her down, "do I deserve to be related to you?" She smiled and said, "Oh, I have so many cousins, I'm sure you can't possibly be the worst one." It was a bit early and the large garden felt empty. A lot of the guests still haven't arrived yet. We sat down in a round table. The view of the mountains was breathtaking. Charlotte was in front of me. There was some background music as more of the guests kept arriving. The aunt asked Charlotte if she had finished reading the book she had sent her last. Charlotte replied, "Nah, I didn't like it. You can have it back. The one before wasn't much better either." Every time Charlotte spoke, I was struck by her intelligence and character. Every word made her even more charming, like new qualities and talents were slowly being revealed as she felt understood. Charlotte said, "When I was younger, I loved those romantic books. I was nothing better than when I could just settle down by myself in a quiet corner on a holiday and spend a few hours immersed in the joys or sorrows of some made-up story. I still kind of like those books, but I don't read much anymore, so I prefer books that speak more to me, really. Now I like authors that can write about my own life and the people around me. The stories that interest me the most are the ones that remind me of my own everyday life, which is a source of happiness, even though it's not exactly paradise and not need to be, you know?" She said with naturality. I did my best to try to hide my feelings, but I think it didn't work too well. When she spoke so honestly about the Twilight Saga and other books, I couldn't hold back and told her exactly what I thought about the books that I thought were getting lost and we are need to read. I had forgotten the other two ladies were sitting there, and they were sitting there in disbelief. The aunt was teasing me a bit with her looks, but I didn't mind and kept going. We chatted about some great concerts she'd been recently. Charlotte said, "I'll happily confess that I love it more than any other fun stuff. If anything's bothering me, I just go play some music on the piano and dance to it, and everything's good again right away." You know me, so you can imagine how I was staring intently into her gorgeous dark eyes while she was talking, how I was completely captivated by her warm lips and rosy cheeks, and how I was completely absorbed in the way she was speaking, the voice of her words, so much so that I barely even heard what she was actually saying. In short, in a few minutes, and I was so lost in my own world that I barely even heard the music coming from the house garden. End of part 1.